So, hi, my name is Leonardo Giani. I'm a research fellow at the Florence School of Banking and Finance at the European University Institute, and today I will speak to you about the DLT Pilot Regime. What is the DLT Pilot Regime? It is a regulation. It is a regulation of the European Union. And as every regulation of the European Union, it is directly applicable. It was published in the official journal of the European Union on the 2nd of June 2022. It entered into force 20 days after its publication, so basically the 23rd of June 2022, and it will enter into application on the 23rd of March 2023. So, what is the aim? What are the main objectives of the DLT pilot regime? The objectives are twofold. Basically, one objective is to promote the development of markets in crypto assets that qualify as financial instruments. So, not all the crypto assets, but only those crypto assets that qualify as financial instruments. And also the development of the DLT, so the distribution ledger technology. There is another objective that in doing so, in pushing this development, it should be also preserved some values like, for instance, market integrity, financial stability, investor protection, and transparency. So basically there are two concurrent objectives of the DLT pilot regime. The recital 6 of the regulation explains that it will be good to test a regulation. That is the reason why it's called pilot regime. Being a test, an experiment, someone called it a sandbox, it is potentially temporary. What does it mean? As I already told you, it will enter into application on the 23rd of March 2023. But after 3 years, the ESMA should issue a report that will include a cost-benefit analysis about several aspects of the DLT pilot regime. After 3 months from this report by ESMA, the Commission is asked by the regulation to present to the European Parliament and to the Council another report. And in this report there should be a cost-benefit analysis about possible options regarding the DLT pilot regime, the fate of the DLT pilot regime. One option is that it could be extended for other 3 years. Another option is that it could be extended to other financial instruments that are not included in this version of the DLT pilot regime. Another possible option is that the DLT pilot regime could be amended. Another option is that the DLT pilot regime could be made permanent by amendment to the relevant regulations and legislations. And the last possible outcome is that it could be terminated. So we range from the possibility to have it permanent or have it terminated. I told you that the DLT pilot regime is focused on crypto assets that qualify as financial instruments, but not to all the crypto assets that qualify as financial instruments, because there are some limitations. Some limitations that concern the financial instruments that could be admitted to a DLT or registered to a DLT market infrastructures, and these are basically share with a certain market capitalization of the issuer, bonds with some limits, obviously, and also units of UCITS, obviously with some limits and some exclusions. Moreover, regarding the amount, the aggregate value of the financial instruments, there are also some thresholds that should not be exceeded. Agreed on this, let's say the DLT pilot regime basically allow for the settlement of 3 new DLT market infrastructures. These 3 new market infrastructures basically will follow the rules of the market infrastructure for which the regulation is provided. For instance, if it is a multilateral trading facility, it will follow basically the rules of the MiFIR and the MiFID II. But the DLT pilot regime allows for some exemptions to these general regulations. These exemptions are not automatic. They should be asked by the DLT market infrastructure, or better, by the entity that will apply for the special permission to become a DLT market infrastructure. And they are subject to some conditions, some general conditions. For instance, one of the most important is that the national authorities could ask to the operator to implement some compensatory measures, and they should also demonstrate some things. This is from a general point of view, but depending on the single exemptions, there are also other conditions that should be fulfilled in order to get that exemption. The reason of these exemptions, that are various, is that a certain DLT market infrastructure can customize basically the regulation, obviously after the permission by the competent authority, and the general reason is that the lawmakers understood that allowing simply to market crypto assets that qualify as financial instruments on a market infrastructure, or a DLT market infrastructure, that is subject to the normal rules may not be good, because the DLT has some specific features that will need in order to allow for the development, so to push one of the objectives that we were mentioning at the beginning, to some exemptions. So this combination of application of the general regulation with the exemptions that will be asked by the DLT market infrastructures allows for, let's say, a customization of the regulation related to the single market infrastructures. This is basically what is the DLT pilot regime. This is a snapshot of the DLT pilot regime. But obviously the regulation is much more complex. As we say, the devil lies in the details, and the regulation is much more detailed than what I've told you until now.